For over a decade, Meek Mill has been a representative of the streets, showcasing resilience and maintaining a significant presence in the hip-hop scene. However, despite his accolades, global tours, and media spotlight, he was limited by a music industry system that capped his earnings. After 13 long years, Meek has finally achieved freedom from his record label obligations, from questionable contracts, and from receiving only a fraction of his income. Most importantly, he is now able to define his own legacy. By the way, welcome to Celebrity Hip Hop Showroom, where hip hop and celebrity drama never sleep, so hit that subscribe button so you never miss the mess. Let's get into it. Recently, the Philadelphia rapper made headlines by exposing the financial truths of his music career, surprising many fans and critics alike. Even though he has sold millions of records and played a pivotal role in shaping a generation's sound, Meek revealed that he was only earning 13% of his music revenue during that period. This revelation is startling, particularly for a seasoned artist who has shared the stage with legends and has been part of major cultural movements while navigating personal and professional challenges. Now he has moved on. Meek has officially declared his independence. The era of intermediaries and major labels profiting from his work is behind him. He now has complete control over his masters, publishing rights, and the direction of his career. The restrictions have been removed. True to his nature, he didn't just step away quietly, he leveraged his platform to motivate the next generation of artists. Imagine getting 13% after all the struggles. Meek shared online, his frustration clear as he reflected on how others have profited from his hardships, talent, and determination. Then came the moment that sent ripples through the internet. Meek mentioned baby oil, a cryptic yet significant term. For devoted fans, this reference brought back memories of his past grievances with the industry, contracts that felt misleading, situations that left him vulnerable, and people around him who didn't have his best interests in mind. The mention of baby oil became a potent symbol, representing not only betrayal but also being exploited for someone else's gain. However, this story is not just about exploitation, it's about reclaiming power. For years, Meek Mill adhered to the rules set for him. He signed early, worked diligently, built his reputation through mixtapes like Dream Chasers, and broke into the mainstream with hits like Amen, I'm a Boss, and the iconic Dreams and Nightmares. He faced legal systems that tried to silence him, advocated for criminal justice reform alongside billionaires, and still managed to release chart-topping albums. On the surface, he seemed to be a success. Behind the scenes, Meek Mill was fighting against the very system that had contributed to his rise. Many were surprised to discover that an artist of his caliber, who has headlined major festivals, inspired a new generation of rappers, and remained culturally significant for over a decade, was earning so little from his music. This revelation ignited a wider conversation about the practices of record labels, the nature of contracts, and how many artists find themselves trapped in outdated systems that benefit everyone but the talent. This is a common scenario. Artists often sign early contracts without fully understanding their value. Labels promise substantial support, like promotion, distribution, and resources. In return, artists give up ownership of their work, surrendering their masters, publishing rights, and creative control. As their popularity increases, so does their worth, but the original terms stay the same. By the time they realize they are being underpaid, it is often too late. Meek Mill has chosen to break this cycle. Opting for independence is not just a business decision, it's a statement. It conveys, I know my worth. I acknowledge my achievements. I no longer need gatekeepers to validate my art or manage my finances. Meek has been preparing for this transition for a while. In recent years, he has voiced his frustrations with Atlantic Records, Roc Nation, and the music industry as a whole. His social media outbursts were often dismissed as mere rants, but in retrospect, they were warnings, signs of a man coming to terms with the fact that his hard work was benefiting others more than himself. Even his well-publicized disputes with Roc Nation, previously seen as his supporters, now take on a different perspective. Meek felt overlooked, silenced, and managed in ways that didn't align with his goals. While some media outlets labeled him as ungrateful or erratic, he was actually sounding the alarm. Now that the situation has calmed, the undeniable reality is clear. Meek was underpaid, undersupported, and undervalued by the very system that touted him as a success story. However, this new phase is about more than just financial gain. Meek Mill is now in a position to achieve what many rappers never do: become his own boss. With full ownership, he can decide how his music is distributed, how it is used, and who profits from it. He can license his work for films, commercials, and platforms on his own terms, and release music whenever and however he wishes. He can also mentor up-and-coming talent and offer them fair deals that don't mirror the ones he once faced. For a rapper whose lyrics have consistently focused on overcoming oppression, from the streets to the courts to the music industry, this moment represents poetic justice. In many ways, this is the story of an artist who has consistently pursued freedom. Freedom from the streets that threatened to consume him, freedom from a legal system that almost defeated him, and now, finally, freedom from music contracts that aimed to restrict him. There's an important lesson here for new artists. Meek's transparency exposes an industry that continues to exploit its talent. His journey serves as both a warning and a guide. Don't be fooled by the glitz. Don't confuse success with stability. And most importantly, read your contracts carefully. In an era where ownership is the ultimate goal, Meek Mill's decision to go independent places him alongside artists like Russ, Chance the Rapper, and Frank Ocean, musicians who have chosen to break away from traditional paths and, as a result, enjoy the benefits of independence. However, there's more to consider. Meek is not just advocating for his own freedom. He is also fighting for the freedom of others. His messages extend beyond his personal earnings. He hints at a broader need for reform. He aims to educate, empower, and expose the predatory practices that still exist in the industry. The same passion that drove him to seek criminal justice reform is now being directed toward a different challenge. The timing couldn't be better. Hip-hop is currently evolving. As established artists age and new talent rises, the industry's framework is being reshaped. The traditional label model is facing growing criticism. Artists are starting to realize that with social media, streaming, and direct fan engagement, they no longer need the same intermediaries as before. Voices like Meek Mill's are crucial in pushing this change forward. We must also think about the fans. For over a decade, they have stood by Meek through prison sentences, diss tracks, public relationships, and industry obstacles. They have supported him not just for his music but for what he represents: resilience, growth, and transformation. Now that he is finally in control, those fans are about to see a side of Meek they've never witnessed before: raw, unrestricted, and free. If Dreams and Nightmares was the anthem for the underdog, then whatever Meek Mill releases next could very well become the anthem for the liberated individual. So what's next? That's the exciting part. Meek's future is filled with potential. He can start his own label, sign new artists, explore technology, film, or philanthropy, all while knowing he's no longer working for someone else's gain. He can create music at a pace that suits his creativity rather than a label's financial schedule. He can experiment with new sounds, share fresh stories, and build something that goes beyond any chart position or award show. And if history is any guide, Meek Mill won't just succeed, he'll thrive. Even though the drama, headlines, and contracts can be removed, the desire persists. Meek's genuine passion has been evident from the start. It fueled his lyric writing while he was incarcerated, helped him overcome challenges, and solidified his status as one of the most respected figures in hip-hop. Now that he has full ownership, the passion he has always required is finally sparked. 13 years, 13%. But the future? It belongs entirely to Meek. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on this story.